Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's an honor to rise this evening in adjournment proceedings to pick up on a question I asked on the occasion of World Children's Day. On the closest opportunity to that day, I asked the Honourable Minister responsible for children and families whether this government was finally making any progress towards creating at the federal level a position to advocate for the rights of children. I pointed out that under the United Nations Committee on the Rights of the Child, under the Convention for the Rights of Children, which Canada signed on to, which most countries have signed on to since 1989, it has virtually the entire world committed. Strangely enough, not the United States, but most countries around the world have adopted the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And the committee that oversees that convention has been asking Canada for some time when we plan to fulfill one of our obligations, which is to create a position within the government that advocates for the rights of the child and oversees, monitors, and promotes the well-being of children, a children's advocate. Now, Madam Speaker, since I first asked that question in November of last year, Canada lost one of our most extraordinary advocates for children. Senator Landon Pearson, who I had the honor to know and work with, passed away. She was perennially in the other place, making the same points I'm making here tonight, that Canada is letting down our children, that we need to have, at the federal level, an advocate for children. I'm going to say, why? Well, people say, well, Canadian children are doing great. Well, we don't know if we don't advocate, if we don't collect data, if we don't know. I found the following. This is fairly recent. This is statistics from last year only, 2022, a report called the Kids' Rights Index. I kind of hoped that, because I'm a proud Canadian, I like it when we rate really high. So I immediately looked up the top 10 countries in the world. The top, by the way, Iceland, second, Sweden, third, Finland, fourth, Netherlands. Well, I won't keep going because we weren't in the top 10. We weren't in the top 20. We weren't in the top 30. We rank in the world community number 48 in terms of measurable commitments, measurable achievements to ensure the rights of the child. Now, what are the rights of the child? To life, to health, to education, to protection from harm, and from enjoying an enabling environment that supports them as they grow. Now, we would think that Canadian children must be pretty well off because Canada's an industrialized society that's wealthy. A recent report on poverty among Canadian children found that thanks to the CERB, the special COVID benefits, poverty in Canadian children dropped by 40% when the CERB was reaching families. But even with that, we had 1 million Canadian children living in poverty. Globally, 1.1 billion children live in poverty. We're not doing what must be done. And in the wake of the pandemic, we see increasing mental health issues for our children. We know we need to do more. And I'd like to ask the Honourable Parliamentary Secretary, what progress is being made for the rights of the children?
Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Families, Children and Social Development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I'd like to thank the member from Saanich Gulf Islands for her advocacy on behalf of children and so many important issues in this chamber. It's a pleasure to always hear her speak. Madam Speaker, the principle of establishing a National Children's Commissioner has been proposed and is in line with Canada signing and ratifying the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And I'd like to start my comments this evening by stating that our government reaffirms its commitment to the Convention and ensuring every child gets the best start in life. But how do we ensure that? It requires a holistic approach that considers the key determinants for resiliency and well-being. And that is why several mechanisms already exist to achieve these goals. We've taken a whole-of-government approach to advancing the rights of children since 2015, specifically in 3 key areas. The Canada Child Benefit recently celebrated its 6th anniversary, Madam Speaker. The positive impact is that now, each year, over 3.5 million Canadian families receive more than $25 billion tax-free. We've done this because we're committed to helping parents with the high costs of raising their kids, and it's making a real difference. More than 5 years ago, the government started creating a Canada-wide early learning and childcare system because we believe that high-quality, inclusive, and affordable childcare is something that every family and child should have access to. And we've signed agreements with every province and territory, and we're seeing positive results. As of April 2nd, 2023, families in nearly half of Canada's provinces and territories will be benefiting from regulated early learning and childcare at an average of $10 a day or less. Fees have been cut by at least 50% in all other jurisdictions, with work on track to deliver $10 a day on average regulated childcare on average by March 2026. This is putting money back in the pockets of thousands of families with young children. And finally, Madam Speaker, I think everyone here agrees that no child should go to school hungry. Yet on any given day, 1 in 5 children in Canada do. Regular access to nutritious food is a key determinant for a child's health, growth, and well-being. Because food insecurity is something our children should not have to face each day when they arrive at school. School meal programs support and improve the overall health of our children, but programs currently only serve 21% of school-aged children. That's why we're developing a national school food policy to help more Canadian children get a better start every day. Madam Speaker, we all know that raising a child to their fullest potential it's the goal of every Canadian parent. And that's why we are focused on goals relating to no poverty, zero hunger, and reduced inequalities among children and youth. And while we are seeing results from our efforts, we know there's still a lot more work to do. And that's why we continue working with our provincial, territorial, and Indigenous partners across Canada to make sure that all our children have the resources they need to succeed. With regards to a children's advocate, as the member is well aware, there are multiple levels of jurisdiction that are involved in the safety, well-being, and growth of a child. We will continue to actively explore other initiatives to advance the rights and interests of children in this country. Madam Speaker, I want to thank the member for her important question and her advocacy. And as a parent to 2 daughters, I too am among the fans of the beloved baby beluga. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The honourable member for Saanich Gulf Islands.
I want to both thank the Honourable Parliamentary Secretary for her kind words and also wish her a very happy birthday and apologize for the fact that I've kept her late on her birthday tonight. But back to the matter at hand, I think we have a tremendous opportunity right now. We have a minister who's committed, we have a parliamentary secretary who's committed. Let's finally get this done and get an advocate for children at the federal level. Yes, the Canada Child Benefit is great. Yes, it's good to see, and at long last, universal child care, $10 a day, agreements with the provinces. Yes, it's great to see progress, although it's not yet fully delivered, on a child's benefit in terms of school nutrition. Very important. But let's have someone at the federal level keeping track of where things are falling through the cracks, where we're not delivering what we need to. Let's make poverty history here and around the world, and a child's advocate is a key part of that solution.
Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you to the member. We can all agree in this House that every child deserves the best possible start, but also access to the things that they deserve to have each and every day, to not live in poverty, to not go hungry, to have access to a good education and a safe environment to study in. And that's why the government is working tirelessly to establish legislation and programs that protect children in all of those contexts and environments. But that's why the Canada Child Benefit has helped lift hundreds of thousands of children out of poverty. That's why we're building the nationwide child care system that's affordable, flexible, and inclusive child care that's regulated, that creates safe spaces. And that's also, Madam Speaker, I didn't mention it earlier, but that's why we created a Canada Dental Benefit for children under 12, because we know health and safety of our children, to make sure that they have the best start in life, is a universal priority. That's why we'll continue on the National School Food program for our children as well, because a healthy start to the day starts with good food. These pillars matter, and Madam Speaker, we're committed to working on that common goal. Thank you.